Hey my doll faces! In this video, I'll be showing you step by step on how to apply makeup for a flawless application every time. By the end of this video, people are going to believe that you are true to this and not new to this. Let's get started. Great makeup starts with great skincare prep. Do not skip this step. Now, I do have a short under 5-minute video on how to layer your skincare for best results, and it sets the foundation for everything else. Once your skincare is done, give yourself a good 15-20 minutes to allow your skincare to properly absorb into your skin before you move on to the next step. Now, the next step is going to be primer. Primer is the key for making your makeup last longer and give your skin a smooth, flawless finish. Now that the skin is prepped, let's move on to the base makeup. Now, most makeup artists, they will start off with a foundation. However, I am a brow before anything else type girl, and there is a reason behind my madness, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But what I like to do is go ahead and shape out my brows as so. I'm not going to give you too much detail of exactly how I do things. I'm just going to give you context of everything because you can visually see what I am doing. However, whenever you're shaping your brows, make sure that you apply less product in the front and focus most of the deeper shades towards the inner end of the brows, because that's how brows usually look. I feel like if they're dark all the way or one shade all the way across, then it kind of look a little weird because most brows are not set that way. However, if you are a little handed and you end up applying too much product in the front of the brow, that is okay, because we are going to use the spoolie to kind of help smooth everything out. Once you have your brows filled in the way that you like, you're going to take your spoolie and you're just pretty much going to brush it along your brows just to reshape your brows. Make sure that the hairs are going the way that you like, and it also help like diffuse any sharp lines. And you can also use the spoolie to help brush away any darkness. So if you was a little bit heavier handed in the inner corner of your brows, you can use the spoolie and just keep brushing in that area, and it is going to take away a little bit of that product. Now that you have your brows filled the way you like, now you're going to take your brow gel and set your brow hairs. What I like to do is I like to brush my hairs in the direction that I want them to go, and then I use the flat part of the spoolie to press my hair and to press the product into my brow hair. Now, this is what I was telling you about earlier, the reason why I like to do my brows before anything else. You see how I press the product into my brows, and then some of the brow pencil was above my eyebrow and I had to wipe it away with my finger. That is the reason why I am a brow before anything else type girl, is because if anything like that happened, I could easily wipe it away. If I did my foundation first, then it probably would have been a little messy. So that's why I'm a brow before anything else. But honestly, what you're trying to do is you just want to shape your hair and make sure that everything is in the direction that you want before you move on to the next step. Now we're going to move on to the base. What you see right here is a mixing palette. If you do not have one, do not run and go get one. It is okay. Just use the back of your hand. So I like to start off with color corrector. Now, depending on what you're trying to hide or conceal will determine on what color corrector you need. If you need more detail of that, of how to apply color corrector or what colors to use for whatever reason, let me know down below in the comment section and I will create a dedicated video to that or towards that. But what I'm using is like a peachy color corrector because I do have like more of a bluey undertone under my eyes or dark circles under my eyes. So I like to apply color corrector under my eyes. Now, what you see me doing here is I'm actually pressing the products into my skin, and that's pretty much going to be the rhythm that we're going to have throughout my face or base application. I couldn't get it out. Throughout my base application is that I'm pretty much pressing everything in because I do not want to swipe it. We're not doing a swiping motion because we don't want to swipe the product away. We really don't want to move it around. We just kind of want to press it into the areas that we want it to be. Now we're going to move on to our foundation When I apply my foundation, I like to use a brush and I like to press that product into the brush. I'm going to slow it down for you guys so you can see it, but I like to press that product into the bristles of the brush. That is called loading your brush. Now, once most of that product is like going off the mixing palette or off the back of your hand, now you're going to start applying it to your skin. Now, when you apply it to your skin, it is best for you to start in the center of your face and blend it outward for more seamless application. And then you want to bring that product down into your neck. Do not forget about your neck. Do not forget about your ears. Do not forget about the areas that's going to be showing, because you want everything to be seamless, as if it's just one layer of skin. That is the goal. Everything to look smooth and seamless. Now we're going to move on to the concealer. We're going to take that same brush that we used earlier for the color corrector, and we're just going to load that brush up with our concealer. Now, me personally, I like to use two concealers. The first concealer is going to be the same color or as close to the same color as my foundation. And then the second color, I like to use a couple of shades lighter than my foundation. Now, with the first concealer, if you do not have a concealer that's like the same shade as your foundation, that is okay. Just use your foundation. I do it all the time. Most of the time I do just use my foundation since it is the same color. It's going to pretty much have the same coverage. Now pause. I want to take a moment to give recognition to my Dollface community. To my OGs, thank you for your support. I truly do appreciate it. And if you have any beauty products, topics, or recommendations that you want to discuss, let me know down below in the comments. I truly want you guys to be part of the video making process. And if you are new here, go ahead and subscribe. Be part of the Dollface community. Don't be shy. It's free. And in return, I'm giving you this content. Now we're going to take that second concealer, the one that's 2 shades lighter than my complexion, and I am just going to apply that on the smallest portion of my concealer brush. I'm pretty much using that concealer as a highlight to kind of spot treat areas that I want to highlight. So me, I'm pretty much just going into that crease. If you notice that I do have like a line, I don't know if it's a bag or if it's because my eyes are a little bit bigger, but that portion of my eye looks a little bit sunken in. So I'm applying that lighter portion or that lighter concealer. I'm applying that lighter concealer right there in that area, and I'm pressing it in to kind of bring that part of my face out. So when it comes to highlights bring things out, and then concealer, which we're going to move on to next, kind of sink things in. It causes shadow. Oh my God, yes, I'm bringing out this old dusty, busted, crusty Sculpting palette. You think I would be shamed, but I'm not. So I'm just going to mix those two shades together to kind of give my ideal contour shade. And yes, I'm using the same brush that I used for my foundation, and I'm just pretty much stippling, same motions, nothing changed, just stippling that color in where I want it to be. When it comes to contour, you want to apply it to the hollows of your cheeks, your forehead, and jawline. Now, this is not a one size fit all. When it comes to contour and blush, it is not a one size fit all. Your placement will be determined based on your face shape. Once you have your contour placement, go ahead and blend everything out. Blend that contour out. There should not be any harsh lines anywhere. It should be a smooth transition between your contour, highlighter, and foundation. Now that we're finished contouring our face, we are going to contour our nose and our eyes. So we're just pretty much going to add definition back into our eyes and our nose. So what we're going to do is take our brush. You could use the same concealer brush that you used earlier for under your eyes. You just want to wipe off as much of the product as possible, and then take whatever leftover contour that's on your palette or your mix or on your mixing palette or on the back of your hand, and just apply it to your eyes and down your nose. Doing it this way will allow you to have a softer feel on your nose instead of just having those two striped lines. Now it's time to apply a pop of color on our cheeks. So I am using two blushes. You do not have to use two blushes. You can use one. I'm just being extra because, you know, I can. But I am applying blush in the locations that I like to apply blush. This is another one where it's more of, it's not a one size fit all. It really depends on your face shape and preferences on where you like to apply blush. So I am going to put a picture here so that you guys can see what other ways you can apply blush. So first I'm starting off with the darker shade, and then when it get closer towards my cheeks, I'm going to apply the lighter shade just to give it a little bit more definition. Now that you're done applying your blush, you're going to take your concealer brush and just tap around the areas where you applied the blush just to make sure there's no harsh lines. Now you're going to want to take a Q-tip with a fine tip, and you're going to go in between the creases. I'm sure at this point you're probably going to see a little bit of foundation concealer buildup under your eyes. So you want to take a Q-tip to kind of take away some of that additional products before you set your under eye with your setting powder. Honey, this right here is a pro tip. This is how you're going to keep your under eye from having unnatural creases. Like our under eye already have creases, but this is a way to keep it so that it won't have those harsh creases. And girl, I know you know what I'm talking about. Now we're going to set everything with a setting spray. This is what we're going to do before we apply our powder. This is how you're going to be able to keep your foundation on all day. This is going to last all day. Honey, I'm talking about you can go to festivals, concerts. This is going to be something that's going to last you all day. To finish up our base, we are going to apply powders. So every step that we did before with the creams, we are going to do the same thing, but with powders. So right now I'm using a pink under eye powder. You can use pink. We have purple. We have, you can do white. You can do yellow. We have so many options. Depending on your skin type will determine on what powder you want to use under your eye. I will have a few listed down below just for you guys to reference. But we're going to put that under our eye. It's going to add additional highlight under our eye. And then after that, we're going to do a face powder. Now, again, when we're applying our powder, we're pretty much doing the same thing when it comes to the creams. We are pressing the product into our skin, and then at the end, once we finish pressing the product into the skin, we will sweep it away. But first, you have to press it in just to make sure that you're taking away any of the tackiness. You don't want to sweep or do a sweeping motion because you don't want to move all the hard work that you've already done, okay? So most makeup artists do apply their brows after they do their base. So if you're one of those people, then this is the time to do your brows. So since we already talked about brows earlier in the video, we're going to go ahead and move to the eyes. Now you're going to want to line your eyes. This technique that I'm showing you right now is called tight lining. So there's so many different ways that you can apply liner to your eyes. Right now, I am using an eye pencil. You can use gel or you can use a liquid liner. There's so many ways to do this, so it's best to find what works best for you. Once you're done applying your liner, take a thin smudging brush just to smudge out any harsh lines. For my shadows, I use singles. Now, Natasha Denona has a mini nude palette, which is really good for beginners so that you don't have to go out and cherry pick each shadow. So what I like to do is start off with a shade that's very similar to my skin tone. If you don't have a shade like that, you can always use your setting powder or a compact pressed foundation powder for this step. I'm just pretty much applying that all over my lid as shown. And then I'm going to go in with a cooler, warmer shade. Now, if you don't have a shadow like this or you don't have anything like that, you can always use a contour powder or a bronzer. I do that as well, especially if I don't have my shadows next to me, but then I have my face palettes or my face powders next to me. With this shadow, you just want to continue to shape out your eye, and then you also want to bring a little bit of that product down your nose to apply a little bit of contour on your nose. Guys, warning, okay, my nose was running throughout this entire video, so I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try to catch it. There I go, I caught it. I'm gonna try to catch it, but if you see it throughout the video, I'm so sorry, guys. My nose was running and I couldn't do anything about it. Once you have the shadows to your liking, you're going to take that same smudge brush that you used earlier for your liner, and you pretty much going to take like a medium brown, like a medium dark chocolate brown, and you're just going to apply that directly onto your eyeliner that you applied earlier. And you pretty much just want to fuse it and smudge that out. Now, girl, you don't have to be precise when it comes to this. If you notice, my lines are not completely straight, and that is okay, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in with another brush. This brush is gonna be like a small taper blending brush. It's gonna be real taper and pointy on the end, and we're gonna take that same chocolate brown, and we're pretty much gonna blend and fuse out that outer wing, and we also gonna bring some more of that shade into the outer crease corner. You're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. Here you go. Here you go, girl. So we're just gonna go ahead and blend and fuse out that line just a little bit, just to kind of give it like a little daytime smoke, a little daytime glam. And make sure you bring some of that shadow down to the lower lid. Whatever you do to the top, you want to make sure that you do it to the bottom. Now, for me, for a rule of thumb, what I like to do is I only like to bring the dark shade on the outer corner, maybe like halfway to 2/3 of the way of my eye. I don't like to darken up the entire eye, because when you make it dark all the way across your under eye. It makes your eyes look smaller. So I do leave a little bit of lightness on the inner corner just to make sure that my eyes are open, wide open, and look awake. Now, before we finish up this eye, you want to take the large blending blush that you used earlier, the large blending brush. Why does it sound like I'm saying blush and brush? I think I am. I'm getting tongue twisted or tongue tied. Yes. So you want to take the large blending brush and you just want to take a little bit of extra product and just apply it and just blend out your eyeshadows. You just want to make sure that everything is blended, okay? That is the key when it comes to these flawless looks. You just want to make sure that everything is blended. There's no harsh lines, and one shade goes into the next. That's it. For additional pop of color, you want to take the lightest shade that you have in the palette and just apply it on the inner corner right there, just to give your eye a little extra pop. Now, if you wanna do a little extra, if you wanna add a little shimmer, a little pizzazz, then you can go ahead and take a shimmer, like a light shimmer, and add it right there in the inner corner. Girl, go ahead, do it, knock yourself out. Let's go ahead and get started with the lashes. So I am using a eyelash primer. Now, if you don't have this, you don't necessarily need to use it. I like to use it because it do give me extra length and volume when I apply my mascara on top. However, it is not needed. You can just go ahead and move into applying the mascara. Now, if you a lash girl, this is the time for you to go ahead and apply lashes. If you need help with applying lashes, go ahead and check out this video that I'm going to put up in the eye. It's going to show you step by step on how to apply lashes like a pro. And once you finish applying your mascara primer, just let it sit on your lashes for a few minutes before you apply your mascara. Now, I've come to learn that that allows the mascara to apply a little bit better and also give you the length and the thickness that you desire. So while I'm waiting for this mascara primer to dry down, I'm going to go in with some bronzer. So when you apply bronzer, you actually apply it to the top parts of your cheek and also around your forehead. So you pretty much just apply it on the higher portions of your forehead. Just think about where the sun will kiss your face, okay? Those are the exact areas that you would want to apply bronzer. I know we applied blush earlier, but like I said before, whatever you did in creams, you have to do it with powders. So what we're going to do is go on top of the areas that I applied blush already and just go with the powder just to bring that color back out a little bit more, because you notice that once we applied the powder, it did kind of mute out the blush before. Now you don't necessarily have to, but if you want this to last all day, go ahead and just apply a light coat of powder blush. Make sure you take the same brush that you used earlier. No additional product. Do not add any more powder on here because we're not trying to powder our face. We did that already. What we're doing is just making sure that we get any excess powder off our face. You see how I'm swiping it off? Make sure you get any excess powder off your face. And then this is also going to help blend all of your powders together so that you can have a seamless look. Now you're going to finish your eye look with a couple of coats of mascara to lengthen and volumize your lashes. Now it's time for you to pull this look together with your lips. So we're going to start off with a medium brown lip liner to define our lips, give it shape, and prevent lipstick from feathering. Now, if you want to overline your lips, this is where you want to do it, but here's the trick. When you overline your lips, you want to overline at the highest point of your lip, right in the area of the cupid's bow, and then also at the lower point of your lip as well. And then as you bring the liner to the inner corners or the outer corners of your lips, you want to bring it closer to where your natural line is. This way, it won't look like you over lining your lips. And if you really want to make your lips look bigger and more defined, what you could do is take a darker lip pencil. I'm going to go with a dark chocolate brown, and I'm pretty much just going to apply that shade on the highest points of my lips and at the lowest points of my lips. And when it comes to blending your lips, you can either use your finger or a lip brush. Me, I'm using my lips. And what I'm showing you here is that when I blot my lips together, I do it in a rolling motion as shown. You don't want to just rub your lips together because then that kind of like moves things around. And you don't want that. Now, since you're a brow before anything else kind of girl, kind of like me, what you want to do is take your brow pencil that you used earlier and you just want to just add a little bit more shape at the bottom of your brows because we did kind of blend it away when we added our eyeshadows and the setting powder. So you just want to add a little bit more shape, a little bit more definition at the bottom. Now we're going to take our brow gel and we're just going to brush that on top of our brows pretty much because the setting powder makes the brows look a little dusty, so you just want to take off that extra dust. Now we're about to set our face. This is going to be our final set. I like to use 2 setting sprays. I know I'm extra. I like to use 2 of everything, but this setting spray actually gives me more of like a glossy dewy look, and then I like to go on top of it with a mattifying setting spray just in key points, just a little bit so that it can kind of fall on key points and kind of mattify my face in those areas. And there you have it, the perfect makeup application for a flawless, long-lasting look. Whether you're a beginner or a makeup pro, following these steps will ensure your makeup look its best every time. So, what's your favorite step in your makeup routine? Let me know down below in the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and remember, you're made for more. See you next time. Bye.